All right, all right. Hey, hey. All right, so Aries, let's jump on into this one. By the way, shout out to Courtney Walsh. Courtney, I saw your message earlier on my other channel, Tarot Dog, while I was doing the Cancerian video. And as promised, I said I would get an Aries video out tonight. I'm sorry it's so late, but I hope everybody's had a lovely Mother's Day weekend. I was busy spending time with fam, so I'm just a little behind, but yeah, it's so good to spend time with everyone that we care about. And we start out with the perfect card actually for a Mother's Day message. By the way, this is card number 54. That could be an age, doesn't have to be. We certainly see like kind of I'll say a guardian overseeing their little one. And I say guardian instead of necessarily like mother and child. It could be, grandfather and grandson. It could be, uncle and niece, whatever it is. It's about encouragement. Now, this could also be a time where maybe Aries is reflecting on those that have given them encouragement. And we could take it in like a higher perspective and say, what about the encouragement we receive from the universe? The universe could be represented by the thing that is larger than us. Because I think it's fair to say, no matter how old we get, we can always still feel kind of like a kid that needs some support. And maybe the universe is gifting it. Maybe somebody is 54 years old and they are saying, universe, I could use a little help right now. And this could be that encouragement and that gift coming in from the universe to a full grown adult. How big we are is determined really by what we stand next to or what is, kind of overshadowing us, right? So giants shrink next to giants that are even bigger than themselves, so we mortals shrink by comparison to maybe the cosmos, but ants are itty bitty by comparison to us. So it's all just dependent on vantage point or what we stand beside. I don't think I want that deck actually. Hold on, nothing has popped out from it anyway, but I don't feel like that was the right deck for Aries. Okay, so tell me more about this encouragement energy. It's a really lovely one to start out with. Okay, Two of Wands. I'm definitely going to say that a character, and I'm going to say it's Aries right now, who needs the support at the moment because they're at a crossroads. They're trying to decide what choice to make. And I feel like if Aries pauses for a moment, they may recognize that there's some lovely support. I mean, maybe it is coming from a loved one, maybe it's coming from a wise elder. We have the Hierophant, but I'm gonna wager to bet it's coming from the cosmos because I always look at this as the cosmic classroom on this Hierophant card. Hierophant can be about our connection to our higher self. And here we have the teacher, which is the universal, energy standing right here at the blackboard. And it reminds us that we're all in the classroom. But Aries is about to graduate. We have Aries coming across as a Queen of Wands, which is perfect. Aries could be dealing possibly with a Taurus, or the question mark could be, what do I do about a Taurus? Which route do I go? Universe, please help guide me. What does my higher self say? Do I stay or do I go? Do I give them time or do I not? By the way, I will be doing Taurus right after this. Shout out to Brino. Brino requested Taurus next. And so, I don't know, it's just interesting to see that so far that's our only major arcana, right? So we have a Four of Swords. So this message says if Aries just kind of like maybe sleeps on it or rests a little bit as they try to make a decision, Aries has everything that they need to make a good decision, right? If they ask themselves, and particularly their higher selves, what have I learned from a situation? Because we're always going to learn something. And if we remove some of the huge pressure where it's like, I'm supposed to already have all the right information, that's not really true. To weigh our choices before just making a snap decision, I would argue, shows wisdom. Even if we pretty much know, I'll share this, especially since it's Mother's Day. My mom always does crossword puzzles. And even if, and I'm so guilty of this, I'll look at her crossword puzzles sometimes and I'll be like, okay, she'll get these really hard ones. And then ones that are really easy, she might still have left blank. And I'll be like, well, obviously we know what those answers are. And she's like, Sometimes you need to wait until you fill in the other things so they fall into place, because sometimes you can be wrong. There are lots of words that like that are almost are interchangeable, and you'll instantly go to the one that you're just sure is right, and it won't be. It'll be a simple four-letter word or something, but you can still get it wrong. You're wrong by just a little bit. It's two different words that kind of mean the same thing, but that's the fun of the crossword puzzle, is that you got to kind of make your brain work a little harder. And I'm always surprised that even if it seems obvious, she doesn't just assume. She waits until enough information is gathered factually to fill it in. And lots of times I'll be the one that's wrong on something that I was like, oh, this is so easy, I know the answer to this. No, I was wrong, she's the one who's right. Pause and take your time. Let it start to fill in. Don't assume and then get stuck in a rut of assumption. So I would argue that this Aries is being much more wise, more like my mother, taking the time to learn the full lesson instead of jumping ahead and assuming we know everything. But I also like the fact that I think that Aries is like asking the universe, am I making the right decision? Let me mull over this. Let me sleep on this. Even if I think I know what I'm going to do, let me sleep on it. And I think the universe is like, you follow your process. Follow your process. Listen to your intuition. Make the choice for you. We have a 3 of Wands in the reverse. We have the Knight of Pentacles upright, and we have the 8 of Pentacles. There has been some kind of push-pull. Hi, Kwetsu, Shima. Good to see you. Thank you for being here, sweetheart. Have a beautiful day off. I'm delighted you're here. I didn't know you're in Germany. That's so awesome. Forgive me. It's nice to say hi to you guys. So when I see some comments here and there, I feel like there's been push and pull for this Aries that has been, if anything, they like keep pressuring themselves. I should know the answer already, but I still want to slow walk this a little bit. I still want to work on through this. Everything here keeps saying they have the support of the universe to take their time. They do not need to feel rushed. They will know the right answer when the moment is right. And if their answer at the moment is, I still want more time before I decide, maybe there's a reason for that. What might be the reason for that? I think that's something we should turn to the universe and say, what is the benefit to Aries still pausing? I mean, this could be an Aries who's like, I really think I should, let's say that they're trying to decide to walk away from a partnership. Maybe they're saying, I don't picture that this is going to be the person that I marry, but what if I'm mistaken? I mean, that's a huge question to ask oneself. So to not cut bait too soon until you've really worked through things. This really feels like a person who wants to make sure they honor what is right for them, but also not do somebody else wrong, not make flip decisions. They're assuming I met somebody for a reason. I'm in this classroom with them for a purpose. Maybe it's me who has more to grow. Maybe it's them who has more to grow. I don't want to cut the lesson short if I still need time to evaluate, why did I meet them? Is this my person? Is this not my person? Those are big questions and maybe can't be made with a snap decision. It is rare that I get characters that take this much like gravity. And I think it's such a beautiful trait for a character, especially, sometimes I think we live in a fast-paced world where we're very swift to make judgment calls and snap decisions. And this character is showing us the wisdom. This Aries is showing us the wisdom involved, and even the courtesy and the human kindness and dignity given, saying, no, if I met someone and I'm in a classroom with them, meaning like I'm in a relationship with them, I was drawn to them for a reason. They're a valuable human being. There are things that I could probably do better. Maybe there are things that they're still learning to do better, but I don't want to rush something. Even if there are many things that keep telling me I'm not sure we'd be compatible in the long term, or maybe I think we'd be highly compatible, but we have some real problems that we would need to work through. Can we do that? I just think that they are showing so much respect for themselves, the other person, the learning process that we're all going through. And I almost never get stories where characters are this astute and this patient and I'll say, like, even mature. I think we just got a really nice, mature like Aquarius energy too that I just did a story for. Okay, so we have again the Hierophant. In this deck they call it the High Priest, but it still is Major Arcana 5. It's actually the Hierophant. And we have the Strength card. This is one of those messages where it's so supporting. The universe is saying, or again, maybe it's like a wise elder saying, sweetheart, it doesn't matter if you're 54 years old and you care about somebody, you want them, you want to be healthy and in a strong connection, you want to even marry this person. It's still, no matter what age we are, we're never going to have all the answers to where it's a snap decision and we just know this will be perfect and we don't have to have any nerves about it at all. It still takes a lot of courage. Either way, we choose. If we choose to walk across that bridge and marry somebody, if we choose, it takes courage just to listen to one's higher self and really evaluate one's own emotions too. I like the fact that, first off, it's like the universe is applauding Aries for being courageous enough to work on and work through a connection with another person. That alone, or maybe this is saying it's amazing that you have been willing to, raise your kiddos and be that parent. It's amazing that you're a great, auntie or uncle, or that you're a good role model for the little ones around you. All of these things say our interactions with other human beings, sometimes we forget we're all kind of like divine and sacred, and we don't always display the best traits. They don't, we don't. But this is a unique Aries who can see every person really deserves the gravity of remembering I'm dealing with another life force. I'm dealing with another life energy with their own experiences and their wounds and their triggers and all of that. And I have my own too. So I'm really going to give this the time it deserves to make a decision and make it calmly and wisely. What does this mean? Because all of this keeps leaning toward something very positive, because the process is very positive. Okay. Any way we slice it, Aries is going to follow this process to the end of the chess game. Whatever that means, they're going to follow it all the way to the end of the chess game. Does that mean that they end up with this person and that they move forward into some wonderful, loving relationship? Possibly. Or does it mean that they move forward and say, okay, I'm done with this and now I can move on for, the rest of my life and not look back? Either way, they're going to follow it as far as it goes. We have the Eight of Swords in the reverse. We have the World in the reverse. We have the Page of Pentacles. The way I see this, Aries is going to be able to make a very wholehearted and confident decision. That what I see is that they're not going to walk away from this relationship. They actually still want this. They want to keep building. At the end of all of this thought process, at the end of all of this, at the end of the step-by-step process of getting to know another person, and they're saying, I feel like I was divinely guided to this person for a reason. I need to be strong enough to process what we're going through and figure out why are we going through this very tough patch. Then I will finally be able to see it for what it is. Because right now, if this card had still been upright, it would have been like, wow, okay, they just can't get to the answer of why are we having a disconnect? Why did I meet them? If we keep having a disconnect, what was this for? I feel like this is such a great topic for like a collective message also, just because that underlying question can be like maddening. Like, if they weren't important, then why did I meet them? Why did I meet someone only to then instantly say, oh, this is no good. I need to discard this. I mean, sometimes it's because there are red flags. Sometimes it's like, oh, what am I doing to attract the wrong people? We could ask all those questions, but that's not the summary of this story. This is like a couple who's been going through a tough time. Aries might already be married to this person since we've had the Hierophant twice. And it could be like, can I work through this with this partner? Should I work through this with this partner? And I think at the end of the day, it's like, well, first, before I could answer, do I stay or do I go? We need to first get through the problem. And maybe that's an interesting twist, because perhaps that's the other thing that not a lot of characters do. Before I make a decision of whether or not we stay together, can we get through the problem? Because this would almost be like if we're still in the middle of a problem and I'm like, okay, that's it, I'm out. That's almost like saying, um, I haven't slept in 3 days, I haven't eaten in 48 hours, and I haven't had anything to drink in the last 15 hours. Now, let's sit down and try to do like the most difficult conversation of our lives. You know, it's really hard to make good decisions when all of our other needs are not being met and our body is screaming at us that we're in a state of just like, oh my God, I'm rattled, I'm exhausted, I'm, just floating on like adrenaline. I don't have any, gas in my gas tank to deal with any more emotional capacity. It would be really hard to make good decisions, especially about meaningful connections, when we haven't even gotten through the problem, when we haven't been fed and watered and rested. And it seems like that's the other thing, as Aries said, is no, not until I get through the problem will I be able to answer the question, do I stay or do I go? That's what this is. I'm going to work through it. And I want to begin working through the problem now, even though I know that will take some time. But I don't want to make a decision until we got through the issue. And then I can see clearly, does this work? Does this not? I think the Aries says, I don't want to end something and start something new. I actually, once we get through the problem, and Aries will get through the problem with this person, they could be a Cancerian, by the way, or a Leo, or a Taurus, or almost any other sign, but that's where the Aries is going to feel like, oh my God, the amount of stuff that we actually just learned through this process. They may make a list of things that they have recognized. Okay, now we've both learned something. Things got hard, but instead of bouncing, we worked through the problem, and then we asked, what do we just learn about one another through, how do we react when we have a problem? How do we handle things? Okay, I've learned you better. Okay, so now I can maybe ask the question, can we make this work? Do we have enough in common? Are we going to be able to connect? Are we going to be able to be in a partnership? Oh, well, it so for this storyline, we just took a complete opposite twist. I could take it in one of two ways. Either Aries comes to the conclusion, now that I can see on paper the problems that we faced and I can evaluate it fairly, I realize we're not going to see eye to eye. We don't actually have the same values. And that could be what they're writing down. They've recognized, now I can walk away from this without looking back. I'm not brokenhearted. I know that this is the reason it doesn't work. But the other way I could see this card is Aries says, what I now know is how we process when there are problems is maybe one or the other of us needs time to deal with it separately. Not everybody processes the same way. Not everybody goes through problems the same way. Maybe there needs to be a lag time. Some people want to say, I don't want to talk, when in fact they do. Other people don't want to be asked a bunch of questions until they've had time to deal with some of the emotions, and then they can come back and communicate. There's something about learning styles here, but the styles could still be too different. It could still be that Aries is done. Knight of Swords. If Aries eventually does walk away, this looks like this person's going to be chasing him. All of a sudden, this person might realize Aries stayed that long. They worked through the issue, and then they walked away. And now I don't want to let them go. Gosh, we got Empress, we got Queen of Wands, we got Nine of Cups. Oh my gosh. Sorry, Aries. This is one of those stories where Aries has done everything that they possibly could to be really fair about a situation, but it does look like they have decided to walk away. And here, I'll explain why I'm saying this. It doesn't matter if it's masculine or feminine. It's just Aries has come out as the Queen of Wands. And here again, we see a feminine walking away. And then now we see a masculine chasing them. Why? Because it's like, wait a minute, Aries, you stuck with me through all the worst of it. Now you've decided we're no good together. But no, you're my Empress because you stuck it out so long. You're my Queen of Wands. You're the person I want to marry. You're my wish fulfillment. Here I am. Well, the one thing I would say is Aries did act like a rock. They did act like an Empress. They were super stable. They were super calm. They were the person that didn't flinch even in the face of some real significant issues. So this person was the beneficiary of Aries' patience and compassion and steadfast energy. So of course they're like, my God, Aries was amazing. Now we got through the problem. Aries is who I want to be with. Aries is a gift. I'm not saying they're just like, oh wow, I want to always be able to go off the rails knowing that Aries will just hold down the fort for me. I think if anything, they really recognize what a gem they have in Aries. So they admire, they're drawn to, they're attracted to, they feel like they hit the jackpot meeting somebody like Aries, and they do not want to let this Aries get away. But what's ironic is it looks like Aries said, after I stuck through all of it with you, I realized how different we are, and that's why I'm going to go ahead and move on now that everything is calmed back down. They do not want to let this Aries go. Then pursuing Aries and seeing Aries in this light, that you're my Empress, you're my Queen of Wands, you're my wish fulfillment. Is that going to change anything for Aries? We have a 10 of Wands and we have the Devil. No, if anything, I think Aries says it shouldn't have maybe taken me having to go down this road this far to walk away before then you can't do without me. This, if anything, I think Aries has decided what I recognize finally is that they have some work to do on themselves. And they should have already done some of that. I stayed. I tried to work through it. I tried to be present. I didn't want to walk out for the wrong reasons. But now they say that I'm their wish fulfillment, but I see them as somebody who has a lot of toxicity around them. They have to work through their stuff. It's not to be rude, but it's almost like Aries has said, I evaluated it. Was it me or was it you? This one's you. You got to do the work. I don't have to do the work for you. I know you like that I stuck around, but I don't want to stick around while you finally address, or instead are avoiding addressing some of the things you need to address in you. So this Aries operates in a very different manner. They are very open to like, what do I need to learn? How could I still grow? What role have I played? I don't want to make a decision and dump it on, oh, you're a jerk, I'm out of here. And they're not saying this person is a jerk now. They're just pointing out, you chasing me after all of this instead of you doing some work on yourself might not be the right choice. That's some of the toxicity. It really looks like, I think Aries was pretty patient with this person. Them simply saying that they want to marry Aries or Aries is the greatest thing since sliced bread is not the same as them making significant change. It's almost like Aries is like, you still don't understand maybe what you didn't do right in the situation, but you do love the way I behaved in your situation. That's why you want me. That's not a good reason to be with you, because you like the way I behave in your situation. You need to look at your own behavior. You need to change the things that you need to change and work on. I don't get rewarded by you wanting to be with me and chase me because, wow, I'm so awesome when you're off the rails. No, you need to work on whatever this was. This feels very toxic. It feels like they're easily puppeted. It feels like there's lust for money. It's like they choose to go right into the tornado. They're avoiding learning. And Aries was like, okay, I'm in this classroom with them for a reason. What is it that I could learn? I think the end result of this story is Aries has learned how to discern. Is the other person on board to learn and grow for themselves as well? Or is the other person here to find someone who's awesome, who will do the work for them and make life easier so they don't have to step up their game? That I know it sounds very, like one-sided, but you saw the cards. That's the storyline that we got here. Will this person do some of the work on themselves? High Priestess sideways. They have known this. I do have a soft spot for this person, only in the sense that I'm glad that they know what a catch Aries is. That does them credit. The fact that they also know that they need to do some changing in themselves is like, it's the elephant in the room. It's like, we can't avoid it. It's there. They have known that they need to change, but they really didn't want to have to make changes in their own life and watch Aries leave. Five of Wands, Queen of Pentacles, Six of Cups. They're probably going to do everything they can to bargain and plead with Aries. Okay, but will you still at least be in my life? Can I still call you? We are soulmates though, right? Like even if you're saying I have to work on some stuff, I know you're right. But Aries, you're not going to be gone, right? You'll still give to me. You'll still give me some of your energy. I can still talk to you, and I'm going to come back to you, or you're going to come back to me, right? It feels like they're still saying, but I need you even while I have to work on myself. They feel like they really want to establish that this really is a connection, and Aries does believe that though, right? Let me change decks. What's the final verdict on this from Aries' perspective? Queen of Pentacles, Knight of Cups, Ten of Pentacles. If anything, and I don't think this is Aries giving them false hope. I think this is Aries saying, if you want me to give to you again, don't come toward me until you're ready for the Ten of Pentacles. Don't come toward me until you're coming in with the right kind of offer. That's how you'll show me that you respect me and that you care about me. Know that it has to be stable. Don't say I'm oh so hot and sexy. Don't say, oh, I'm the person you want to marry when you haven't yet come in ready to build a Ten of Pentacles life with me. You've got to come in ready for more than that. So Aries is not saying a flat no to them. Aries is withdrawing and saying, I'm not going to be with you while you need to do this work on your own self, get your own, toxicity under control. And will I be there for you? Well, I care about you, but I can't say that we have a future unless that the future is in your hands as to whether or not, I would consider to build with you. Because right now you're not going to be present to build because you're still in a toxic mode. So I'll give to you only when. I mean, this sounds like not even tough love. This just sounds like you can't expect me to give when you aren't in a place where you're prepared to give. Well, you're asking me for things that you're not giving, and you're asking me for to accept an IOU. No, that's not the way this is going to work. It has to be tangible. It has to be real change. And so you're going to have to go ahead and do what you need to do. I think in the nicest of ways, Aries knows that they have to remove themselves from this situation and this person, so this person can either get their head wrapped around what they need to do different, or choose not to. Aries is not waiting for them though, and Aries already gave them the full experience to see where's our problem, what's going on. Okay, now I can see it clearly. I've evaluated it fairly, and I'm withdrawing because they have some things that they need to do differently. And it's not me to tell them that they have to. They can or they don't have to. Whatever they want to do, it's up to them. But I have to do what's right for me. And I really think that this is such a respectful way that Aries is just laying it out. They're not mad at this person. They're not saying you're bad, you're this, you're that. It's not up to me as to what choices you make in life. It's only up to me what choices I make. And I don't want this the way things are. I think, if anything, this is just reiterating the truth that this person already knew, since we had that high priestess sideways. They both knew this wasn't going to happen unless some things could get smoothed out and ironed out and corrected. So I don't know what happens necessarily, other than Aries would still be, it looks like, willing to see this person in a positive light if they make those positive changes. So it's pretty much like that's it. Aries is removing themselves while they do what they need to do. All right, I'm going to leave that one there. Thank you guys so much for being here. Lots of love, you guys. Great to see you. Hi, Marianne. Hi, Michael. Hi, Melrose. All right, you guys, take care. I'll see you again soon. Bye. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up.